Here I am going to explain about the cyclotron. Cyclotron is one of the particle accelerator which is not like a LINAC, because LINAC is a linear accelerator. The cyclotron, which is nothing but a orbital accelerator. So this cyclotron was first built by American physicist Ernst Lawrence and Livingston in the year 1931. So here the working process of the cyclotron is by the two fields, that are electric and magnetic fields. It makes use of electric and magnetic fields in a clever way to accelerate a charged particle in a very small space. Firstly, we will see about the design of the cyclotron. So what diagram is showing, it is the side view of cyclotron. Okay, so it consists one cylinder. When we cut this cylinder along the diameter, when we cut the whole cylinder along the diameter, we will get the two pieces. Okay, so this is a hollow metallic cylinder, so we will get the two pieces or two sides of this hollow metallic cylinder. At the center there is a small gap between these two pieces, and these two pieces are called as a D's, and they are naming as a D1 and the D2. Okay, so it is shown in the figure, and it is the side view of the cyclotron. So here these D is placed between the two magnets. So in the diagram showing that there is two magnets, one magnet which is at the north pole, and another one is in the south pole. Okay, it is clearly showing in the diagram. And here the magnetic field lines which are going upwards through the D's. The magnetic field, the direction of the magnetic field lines are in the upper direction. Okay, so it is clearly shown in the side view of the cyclotron. And another diagram is here, and this is the top view, and this is the top view of this cyclotron. And here two D are shown, that is D1 and D2, and these two D's are connected to the oscillating potential, and D1 which is connected to the positive terminal of the oscillator, and the D2 which is connecting to the negative terminal of the oscillator. So these two D's are in the opposite potential. And the oscillator which is used here is a high frequency oscillator which is connected to these two D's. So here we are using the two fields, electric as well as a magnetic field. And what is the need of these fields in the working of the cyclotron? Because here we are, this cyclotron is an accelerator device. Here the particle which are used accelerate, they are the charged particles. So when we are applying the electric field to the charged particle, so that we can accelerate that charged particle. So when we apply the electric field over and over again on that charged particle, we can increase the velocity of that charged particle, so that the acceleration of that charged particle goes on increases. So this is the use of electric field. So electric field is used to accelerate the charged particles, so that we can get the highly accelerated charged particles from this cyclotron. Then what is the use of magnetic field in this cyclotron? So magnetic fields are used to circulate the charged particles. It means when we apply the magnetic field to the charged particle, these charged particles will get a circular trajectory. So the direction of the movement of these charged particles will get the circular motion. They will start to move in a circular direction. So the electric field which makes a particle to accelerate, so that we can increase the velocity, and the magnetic field is used to accelerate the charged particles in the circular manner. So these fields are necessary to the working of the cyclotron. So next let us see how the cyclotron will work. So let us see the working process of this cyclotron. So before I explain the working, we will see some expressions. Okay, expressions regarding to the working of this cyclotron. First is the force, that is F vector is equal to Q V vector into B vector. Okay, so F is the expression for force, and which is equal to QVB into sine 90 degree. So 90 degree, which is because the magnetic field which is in a perpendicular direction to the plane of the Ds. So here we are using the theta as 90 degree. So QVB sine 90 degree, that will give sine 90 is 1. We know that. So we will get F vector is equal to QVB. So this is the expression for the force. Okay, so this is the force experienced by the charged particle when which is circulating in the cyclotron. So F is equal to QVB. So from this we can write it as QVB is equal to mv square divided by r. So this is one of the expression. So from this formula we can get the expression for the radius of the circular motion of the charged particle, that is r is equal to mv divided by q into b, that is r is equal to mv divided by qb. So this is the expression for the radius of the particle which is moving in the circular motion inside the cyclotron. So from this expression we can also get the expression for the velocity of the charged particles. The expression is nothing but v is equal to qbr divided by m. So v is equal to qbr divided by m. So this is the expression for velocity of the charged particle. So next we need the expression or formula for the time period. Okay, so this is a time period which is taken by the charged particle uh, to uh, to its circular motion, or which is used by the charged particles to complete the circular motion, that is t is equal to 2 pi r divided by v. T is equal to 2 pi r divided by v. So we have the formula for velocity. So substitute the expression of velocity in this formula. From that we will get t is equal to 2 pi r divided by 2 qbr into m. So after applying the velocity formula we will get this expression, and r gets cancelled. So we will get the final expression for the time period is t is equal to 2 pi m divided by qb. T is equal to 2 pi m divided by qb. So this is the expression for the time period of the charged particles. Okay, we know that frequency is 1 by t. Okay, frequency is nothing but 1 by t, that is 1 divided by the time period. So from this we have the formula for the time period. So we can get the expression for the velocity, that is f is equal to 1 by t, that is qb divided by 2 pi m. F is equal to qb divided by 2 pi m. So this is the formula for the frequency of the charged particle per unit time. So these are the main expressions we are using to explain the working, or when we explain the theory, these expressions should be there for the working of the cyclotron. So now see the top view of the cyclotron. I will explain how the cyclotron is working. So here at the center, S which is represented the charged particle which is used to accelerate in this cyclotron. So here the D1 which is connected to the positive terminal of the oscillator, and D2 which is connected to the negative terminal of the oscillator. When it starts to work, okay, so here at the gap, so there is a gap between d1 and d2. So in this gap, when we start applying the frequency in the oscillator, then between these d1 and d2, so there is a small gap, is right. So small gap is there, no? So in that gap, the generation of electric field takes place. Okay, when we apply the frequency, so potential difference is taking place between these two D's, so there is a uh, creation of electric field. So here always the electric field lines or electric field which moving from negative direction to positive or negative sign to positive, so that here d1 is having positive sign and d2 is having negative sign. So the direction of the electric field between d1 and d2, okay, which is in the upward direction. So between that gap, so or between in that gap, the electric field which is moving in the upward direction, okay, because there is a potential difference. So that the particle which is at the center of this gap, which will start to move in the upper direction, it means it start to move towards the d1, okay, it start to move towards the d1 and it will enters into the d1, okay. When it enters into the d1, the electric field becomes zero, okay. Why? Because in d1 it has a positive potential, right? So in entire d1 pole or d1 side, the potential is positive. It means there is no potential difference. The entire d1 has positive potential, so potential is constant. So when where the potential is constant, there is no existence of the electric field, okay. So when potential in any region, if potential is constant, then there is no existence of the electric field. It means at the constant potential, electric field becomes zero, okay. So in the gap there is a potential difference, so there is the existence of the electric field in the upward direction. But when this charged particle reaches to the d1, there is potential is constant, so electric field zero, so there is no acceleration of the charged particle occurs. When charged particle initially has a velocity v1, when it reaches to the d1, there is no change in the velocity of the charged particle, okay. So then how it will accelerate? If the electric field becomes zero, we have the another field, right? That is a magnetic field. So here the magnetic field which is in the perpendicular direction of that plane of the d. So when this charged particle enters into the d1, the magnetic field lines are coming upwards, okay. It means which is in the perpendicular direction, so that charged particle which takes the circular motion, so we will get the one semicircle, okay. We will get it shown clearly in the diagram. So there is a small first semicircle is there, no small one, so which starts from the arrow mark, so we will get the small semicircle and it will reach to the, it will create one semicircle. So again it will comes to the gap, right? It will again it will comes to the gap, uh, gap. So when it reaches to that gap, okay, then the direction of the oscillate or potential direction will changes. It means polarity of the d will change, okay. So here now the d1 will get the negative potential and the d2 will get the positive potential. There is a change in the polarity, so that in the gap the direction of the electric field which is in the downward direction, the direction of the electric field between this gap which becomes which starts from d1 to d2, okay, the direction will in the downward direction, so that the particle which is in the d1, when it reaches to the gap, it will start to accelerate in the downward direction and it will enter into the d2. When it reaches to the d2, here also which entire d2 has constant potential, it means electric field is zero, so that electric field is zero, so that here also magnetic field which is in the perpendicular direction, so that the particle which will get the semicircle, and again it will goes to the gap. Again the polarity of the d's will change. Now D1 will get the positive polarity, D2 will get the negative polarity. Again the direction of the electric field changes, so that the particle will accelerate and the velocity of the particle also changes. It means the velocity goes on increases. Okay, here also radius also goes on increase. So here velocity of the charged particle also increases, along with radius also goes on increases. So as the charged particle will get the more velocity and the acceleration of the charged particle becomes high. So at last high accelerated or high uh, uh, accelerate which has particle have the high velocity which reaches to the end point, which strike the target, so that we can collect that charged particle. Okay, so this is the overall working mechanism of this cyclotron. So here we have the expression for frequency of this charged particle. So this is the necessary condition for the working of the cyclotron. Okay, this frequency F is equal to BQ divided by 2 pi m. So 2 pi m, why it is necessary? Because this frequency should match to that oscillating frequency. Oscillating frequency means that D's are connected to the oscillator, no? So when this frequency when it matches to that oscillating frequency, so that we can get a highly accelerated charged particle. So acceleration will become more precise when this frequency matches to that oscillating frequency. So this is the necessary condition for the working of a cyclotron. So and so for that this frequency is referred as a resonance condition. So this is the condition which is required to acceleration of the charged particle. So this frequency is also called as cyclotron frequency. Okay, so this is a resonance condition and this is known as a cyclotron frequency. Okay, so here this frequency is not at all depending upon the radius of the charged particle, as well as not at all depending upon the velocity of the charged particle. So here the frequency which is directly proportional to the magnetic field. So that the above equation which implies that one can't choose the magnetic field arbitrarily. For a given frequency f of the AC source, magnetic field strength B is selected, or for the magnetic field strength B, frequency f is selected, such that the resonance condition is satisfied. So for the particular magnetic field strength, we can choose the particular frequency, which there should be a match between this frequency as well as the magnetic field, so that we will get the precise. Next is the expression for final energy. The particle will leave the D's with maximum velocity when it reaches the periphery of the D. Hence, radius of the orbit r is equal to capital R, where capital R is the radius of D. Next, we will see the energy of the particle. That is, energy of the particle is E is equal to half mv square. So this is the expression for energy, that is E is equal to half mv square. So we have the expression for velocity. So substitute that expression or formula to this expression, that is we will get E is equal to half m bqr divided by m whole square. So by simplification m get cancelled, so we will get E is equal to 1 divided by 2m bqr whole square. So E is equal to 1 divided by 2m bqr whole square. So this is the expression for the final energy of the accelerated charged particle, after which comes out from the cyclotron. So we have the resonance condition. The resonance condition gives F is equal to BQ divided by 2 pi m. Substituting for BQ in equation for E, that is the energy, and simplifying, after simplification we will get E is equal to 2 pi square m f square r square, that is E is equal to 2 pi square m f square r square. So this is the expression for the energy. Next is the limitations of this cyclotron. So cyclotrons are usually used to accelerate protons and positively charged ions. So electrons can't be accelerated since even at low energy, electron moves with the velocity comparable to velocity of light. So its mass is no longer constant and it varies as per the relation. We have that relation m is equal to m naught divided by square root of 1 minus v square divided by c square. So hence the resonance condition fails if frequency of the oscillator and the magnetic field strength kept constant. However, one can accelerate electrons by varying the frequency of the oscillator or the magnetic field strength in accordance with the varying electronic mass. So accordingly, there are two types of cyclotrons. First one is synchrotron, or it is called as a field modulated cyclotron, and second one is synchrocyclotron, or it is known as frequency modulated cyclotron. In synchrotron, the magnetic field is made to vary. Okay, here magnetic field is made to vary at higher energy. Velocity of electron increases, so also its mass. So velocity as well as mass is increases. To satisfy the resonance condition, F is equal to BQ divided by 2 pi m at every state of acceleration. The magnetic field strength is also increased. Frequency of the oscillator is fixed. So here magnetic field strength is increased but frequency of the oscillator is fixed. So this is about the synchrotron. And the second one is synchrocyclotron, and it is frequency modulated cyclotron. Here the magnetic field strength is kept constant. Okay, magnetic field strength is kept constant, hence higher energy as mass of the electrons increases, the right hand term of the resonance condition, that is BQ divided by 2 pi m, that is decreases. Okay, hence resonance condition fails. To maintain resonance condition at every stage, the frequency is decreased. Next is the advantages of the cyclotron. Cyclotron is one of the most compact accelerators. It imparts very high energy. The cost of the accelerator is less compared to LINAC or other accelerators. So these are the advantages. And next is the disadvantages of the cyclotron. In cyclotron, particles are not moving along a straight line because here circular motion of the particles are taking place. Hence, energy loss will be more. Also, electric field is necessary to make the particles come out of the accelerator. So, this is the overall working process of the cyclotron.